Hi, we're back. I never made any cornbread for y'all guys or a cornbread video, and I've been making barbecue recently. If you see the videos, and I wanted to show y'all that I make a lot of cornbread like all the time. But I got my pan. These are kind of new pans, and I got the recipe. Uh, I guess it's from just a regular cornmeal bag, but it's the one I make all the time, and but it's a good one. So I'm gonna spray my pan down. I got my oven, my little oven. It's heated up to 425, and it's just gonna bake for 25 to 30 minutes. And I got most of my ingredients portioned out. Here's all my dry ingredients. It's cornmeal, a little bit of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, and I added some sugar. You're not supposed to add sugar. I added some sugar, and then I added like a teaspoon of salt. Uh, okay, so that's all my dry ingredients, and then I'm gonna put the wet ingredients in here. I know this is one of my serving bowls, but I recently broke one of my bowls for mixing, so I got to use this. All right, so I'm gonna pour this in here, my dry. I believe it's a cup and a half, a cup and a half of milk. It doesn't float over or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna have the other half. Okay, and then it calls for 2 eggs unbeaten. I had to search all over for eggs because I went to grab some yesterday and there were none, so I had to go to like some of my friends' restaurants and stuff like that. I need a big bowl. And then there's one more wet ingredient that it calls for, and that's shortening or oil. So I'm gonna add, I think it's 2 tablespoons of oil. And that's to help it with its shine and also with its fluffiness. This is not all the baking that I do. I do cornbread, but sometimes I bake. But I'll just stick to cornbread. Okay. I'm gonna keep mixing this because it looks a little wet. Okay. I add a little bit of flour and a little bit of cornmeal. Awesome. I want to stick to the recipe, but I also don't want. It's like it's an old recipe, so I don't want it to be real runny. I'm gonna try to thicken it up, like you saw with a little extra cornmeal and a little bit of flour. There it is. You want it mixed up really good, but you don't want to. You just don't want any clumps in there. I grab my rubber spatula, wipe down all the sides. And I'm gonna throw it in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. All right, I'll bring you back when the cornbread's ready.